That was absolutely the best part.
I seriously can't believe he did that.
My sides hurt from laughing.
You've probably experienced it quietly, standing in a room where everyone's animatedly dissecting last night's game, the playoffs, the stats. You nod politely, maybe even smile, but inside there's a familiar detachment. Not boredom, exactly, more like absence. You just don't feel it. At some point, you may have asked yourself, why doesn't this move me like it moves them? It's not judgment, it's not rebellion, it's just not there. There's a strange kind of invisibility that comes with that. People assume everyone cares about sports, that it's natural, even necessary, to be emotionally invested. So when you're not, you feel like you missed a memo or maybe skipped a gene. But the truth is, this quiet difference is more common than people realize. It just doesn't get talked about. There's a quiet relief in hearing it said out loud. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not cold, you're not disconnected from life, you just sense meaning in different places. Not everyone feels emotionally linked to the roar of a crowd, the thrill of rivalry, or the rhythm of team loyalty. For some, that kind of energy feels loud, external, distant from how you experience connection, and that's okay. What looks like disinterest is often simply a different emotional rhythm. You may feel more alive in slower moments, more attuned to subtlety than spectacle. While others surge with passion over their team, you might find your heart stirred by a quiet conversation, a piece of music, a solitary walk. It's not that you lack the capacity to feel, you simply feel differently. And in a world that rewards sameness, that's not a weakness, it's a kind of quiet strength. Some minds are simply wired a little differently. Not better, not worse, just quieter in their stimulation, slower in their bonding, more inward in their orientation. Psychologically, people who are high in personal autonomy often feel less pulled by collective rituals. It's not that you're resisting on purpose, it's that your attention is naturally more tuned to your own internal signals than group cues. You don't absorb excitement just because a crowd feels it. You wait to feel it honestly, and if it doesn't come, you don't fake it. Low social conformity also plays a role. When you aren't driven by the need to belong through the familiar, you may feel safe skipping the socially sanctioned enthusiasms. Sports, for many, is an easy shorthand for connection. But for those more introspective, even neurodivergent, emotional engagement isn't plugged in through spectacle, it's tethered through depth. This isn't emotional detachment, it's emotional selectivity. You're not immune to passion, you simply assign it more carefully, and sometimes privately, and that's more legitimate than most people realize. What if your disinterest in sports isn't about absence, but about orientation? Not a lack, but a signal of what your mind quietly tends to value. You may not feel pulled toward team rivalries or public victories because your attention is drawn to something else. Complexity over competition, nuance over narrative, subtle truths over loud celebrations. While others connect through points and plays, you might connect through ideas, moods, unspoken understanding between people. In place of strategy, you may see symbolism. Where others perceive score, you notice subtext. It's not that you can't engage, it's that the language doesn't quite feel like your own. This isn't indifference, it's intimacy with a different texture of experience, a way of sensing the world that favors authenticity over performance, quiet meaning over spectacle. Many people fill silence with noise to stay connected, but you don't. You notice the silence and listen to it. That's not less valid, it's just a different kind of depth. It's important to say this clearly. Not connecting with sports doesn't make you superior. Just as your disinterest deserves understanding, others' passion deserves respect. For many, sports offer a safe space to feel deeply, to grieve, to celebrate, to belong without explanation. It becomes a ritual, a rhythm, a reliable place to pour emotion. That's real, and it matters. What you're experiencing is simply a different emotional pathway, a different psychological pace. There's no need to classify one as deeper, smarter, or more evolved. It's not a hierarchy, it's human variety. This kind of reflection isn't about changing anyone's mind, including your own. It's not about conversion, it's about compassion. about realizing that your emotional lane isn't broken, even if it runs quietly beside the main highway. We all connect differently. That's not a flaw in the system. That is the system, wide enough for all of us. If you've ever sat in a room, surrounded by people lit up by something you just didn't feel, and quietly wondered, is there something wrong with me? The answer is no, there isn't. You may simply be wired for a slower kind of wonder, a quieter kind of joy, one that doesn't always arrive in stadiums or scoreboards, but slips in through stillness, through thought, through the beauty of feeling without spectacle. You don't have to explain that to anyone, you just have to know it's valid. There's more of us than it seems, people who connect through reflection instead of rivalry. If this resonated, that's not a coincidence, it means you're not alone. And if this kind of content feels like a mirror instead of noise, you're welcome to stay. There's more here, more made for minds like yours, depth-seeking, quietly aware, softly alive.